Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another Carnivore Q&A. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today we're going to be talking about raw meat versus cooked meat and its effect on our hydration status and satiety. One common criticism that I hear with regard to the carnivore diet and water consumption is that our ancestors never drank water, so we should only drink when we are thirsty. And this is absolutely terrible advice, and I'm going to explain why. But first, we want to take a look at the water content in the meat that our ancestors ate versus the water content in the meat that we are eating today. With regard to water content in the past, the way that our ancestors would hunt the food is they would hunt the animal, they would open up the carcass, and they would eat whatever was inside. So there was very little water loss with regard to the actual meat itself. Whereas today, we have farm-raised animals. Once it is slaughtered after it has been farmed, then what's going to happen is it is drained of the blood. Once it's drained on the blood, it is going to be put on a truck where it's going to lose even more water. Then it's going to get sent to the butcher where it loses even more water. Then it's going to be placed on a shelf on those little pads that soak up a little bit more of the water. And then finally, you end up cooking it. So unless you're eating completely raw meat, you're going to lose even more water during the cooking process due to evaporation. Now, I want to take a look at how that's going to affect our satiety levels. With regard to satiety, our stomach has these gastric stretch receptors, and as our stomach expands, those gastric stretch receptors are going to send signals to the brain letting us know that we are full. So the more voluminous the meal, the quicker we are going to be full. And with regard to the water consumption, the more water that is contained inside of the actual meat, the more volume that meal is going to have once it goes down to your stomach, which means you are going to be consuming less actual food and more water. Now, muscle is approximately 70% water, so if you were to take something like a 2-pound steak, approximately 1.4 pounds of that 2-pound steak is going to be water, with the remaining 0.6 pounds being meat. Then, let's say that you end up cooking the steak. The more well done that you cook it, the more water you are going to lose. So let's assume that when you cook it, you lose approximately half of the water that is in the meat itself. That means that you're left with a 1.3 pound steak. That means that you are going to have to consume 50% more cooked steak to get that same 2 pounds worth of raw steak. And the reason this is going to be very bad is because if you are consuming 2 pounds of raw steak versus 2 pounds of cooked steak, that cooked steak, if you are losing a lot of water, it is going to have 50% more calories because 50% of because if you were to take a 2-pound steak, you would need 50% more steak to get the same amount of volume as the cooked steak if you were going to be consuming it completely raw. So that is why if you are consuming really cooked meat, the more you cook it, the less voluminous the meal is going to be. The less voluminous it's going to be, the more you're going to have to eat in order for those gastric stretch receptors to expand and send that signal to the brain. So unless you are hunting animals, opening up the carcass and just shoving your mouth right into the animal and eating meat directly, then you need to be diligent and you need to be mindful of your water consumption, because if you are not consuming enough water, you are going to be making up for the lack of volume in your stomach by over-consuming on food. So if you want to manage your weight, make sure that you are drinking enough water, and if you're not sure how much to drink, it should be roughly half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's roughly 100 ounces, and then certain things are going to dictate whether you need more or less. Some things like environmental factors. So if you're close to the equator where it's very hot and humid, you're going to be sweating a lot. You may not need quite as much. If you're living closer to the poles where it's very cold and dry, then you may need a little bit less because you're not going to be sweating as much. So if you're sweating a lot, you're going to need more water. If you are exercising very vigorously and you're sweating a lot, you're going to need more water as well. So you want to make sure that you are consuming enough water. Strive for half your body weight in ounces and then adjust it accordingly based off of your environmental factors, your lifestyle factors. And that's pretty much it for today's video. If anybody ever tells you just drink when you're thirsty, at that point it's too late. Don't listen to them. Make sure that you're drinking enough water before you even get the chance to be thirsty. Thanks for hanging around until the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video and comment down in the comment section, as it would really help out with the algorithm. And also share this video so we can help get this information out to as many people as possible. And also subscribe to the channel by clicking on the icon in the bottom right hand corner and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos. For those of you interested in health optimization, you can check out the video in the top right corner where I discuss the 6 foundation principles. And for those of you interested in optimizing your performance, then consider becoming a member. It's only $5 per month and you get a ton of perks, including exclusive access to this program design lecture series playlist above my head.